around nationhood and development. We have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday. Accountability.
Mr. President, this senator, this is why I'm
their political decisions. Constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion maker, Monday to Friday. Discuss the situations.
Between October 2024 of that number have perished in the last 2 years. In more than half a decade, tragedy had feasted on many risk. The answer is a resounding no. Scooping fuel from an overturned spark and disaster strikes. Ignorance or hardship cannot justify relevant authorities to secure the area. And fuel scooping is deadly. Don't
Lagos.
Past the hour of 4, every sphere of our existence as a sworn, to protect us from democracy, which I find funny, by the way. The best to every one of us is supposed to do it. We kind of think they are doing us a favor. Let's thank the chairman for fixing the market. I'm like, wait a minute. That's his job. That is what he's supposed to do. We're having someone you absolutely love and would want to listen to on Monday. My name is Oᴏ. How do I put it now? Oh, now government matter, which is made by the government, lives of the people at the lower cadre. Then those policies. I mean, you cannot think it's fungus amount of money as profit, and they would cut pieces for you, maybe 50 to 100 naira. There is a politician, and let me take
you. What truly separates us? When we look beyond names, languages, and tribes, we'll see that we are all humans. We are all Nigerians. As one, we must understand that the true essence of being Nigerian isn't found in your tribe, but in your strength, in your come from. Whether you are thief, can always remember that we are strong. Lead, let Nigeria rise. Say no.
It's a struggle to stay alive. One love, keep us together.
Hardship you face, I wish
around nationhood and rule as we continue to build the narrative about public service and
there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say this,
demand for quality one's dream. Join us around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial mainland 98.
Thank you very much and welcome back. So let's get straight up into the conversation. Like I told you, my guest is someone you would love to listen to for obvious reasons. The status quo of Lagos was checked. Maybe the ultimate, a cosmopolitan city like Lagos thrives, is prospering. But then you look at the amount of revenue expectations of Lagosian for the position. Yes. Coincidentally, the last time he was here was I was about cleaning my desk. I got a message from my head of station that I already on his way to the station. So we had another 2 hours with him. So I'm so excited to have you join us. We're hopeful, maybe not exactly because of the sloganeering as such, but we're moving from 8 years period that Nigerians got used to words like japa because people were leaving the country. Sachet-lized. Let me use that word that my friend uses because almost everything that Nigerians used to buy in bulk, it was a period when Nigerians wanted something different. Then, you also came in on the platform of Labour Party. There was also Jando of PDP. Of course, there was a governor that was returning for the second time. But within is our this, is our that. That was over 2 years ago. You're back today. What has changed?
The suffering has increased. How much something that has been made his child not to jackpot at this point. Since we know how many companies have lost jobs, we remember the better the people. We see what has happened with the cost of living. And you also have a situation where people have normalized, have died from hunger per system where them for help just to survive.
It's crazy.
They'll make something for themselves. It seems.
Well, it's that the times we've moved past from, by the way, on facebook.com/mainland from the national level.
Okay.
We look at the subnational. Then they always say charity begins from home. Let's talk about Lagos at itself as Lagos source. We'll talk about all of that. But let's go to Abuja real quick, Mr. INEC released their stats, and religious cards were played, tribal cards were played, political alliance. There was next level in 2019. In the last 15
it's almost
years.
like the people, their immediate family. There's a very significant fraud that's going on in Lagos. But you'll find that at least 60 to 70 to vote. There's some cards, you have a lot of this happening, picked up in prison, that are picked up and put in, and we're trying to share, get in the gutter. As opposed to just blaming this child. Somebody, right? These are things that we need to look into. Electioneering in electronic next government does not care about the people. I say it and I make no. Take time to understand the problems. You take time to propose solutions. You take time to think. You will not run away from debates. But you're saying that now statistics and chopping difficult for the people that he wants to idea. Be neoliberal policies that we might have been given to him. By for instance, that subsidies are paying more for fuel to move around, but are spoiled on farms because they are improving the roads that are langos in the middle belt, all sorts things. You are increasing the amountation. The CNG, these petrol trucks, has a better implement. Doing. We are going to talk to. It's always we are going. We are. It's never we have. It's out of commission. These billions that have been spent has just gone. Late President Buhari. And you see that the man knew that this great president economy, but for political gain, he went behind. Right. So that's to office over popular mandate. He humanism, like I am this big. When we have these big leaders, that's what we need in this country. There was a time king, servant leaders. That policy and it's $1 billion renovate car. Did they buy that? I am with you.
Let's go through this together.
Let's go through MC. That we're going with until Nigerians started kicking, like people that just came into office with, and while the suffering of Nigerians are at an all-time employment numbers, whether it's even the state of in decay, even when you for so many years so great leader, when you separate those who from people and are desires to hear and speak to the people based on the election, you cannot know. Yes, so don't have anything to say. Let them eat how great you are. Engaging the people. And that
the election calendar gives seen in worse.
Genuinely believe with Nigeria is such energy. Nigeria has so many problems. You need to be able to have a feeling of what is really the statistics, to understand what the real numbers are, and then let us data matter. So when people say that statistics will chop, you know that this is some my turn kind of thing. So I believe but it ties directly because you added number it is, which is why there's a conversation about it after the elections. And he said, while America put out statements, they talk about that. But they said, with the presidential itself, it's disservice. And while we might say the process was not 100%, being able to build consensus, being able to build bridges, and that you're successful at politics of the coalition is based on.
Okay, coalition itself, the membership of the coalition, the people leading 8 of those as the president of the Senate, CT. He's had his role over under the last administration for 7 years, and we've had individuals that are leading the coalition that have also at different times in our democratic journey held truthfully to come and rescue ADC.
Good question, and I will answer these leaders, and it's not they believe that ideology has been transferred status quo. It has brought a lot of people together. Now I can say is that Nigeria is a country that you should be able to run as an independent candidate without a need to have polling unit agents. Why do we have polling neutrality? Right? Nobody is election without the reality that somebody is going to come and try and start bringing kings to be beating people. there's an election you're bringing. So you see, in that kind of madness, you to cure that madness, you need. You go to the hospital and they'll tell you, oh, you cannot just take this one drug. You now need, by virtue of the quality of people that are sitting on that table, you can navigate this conversation in the interest of an incumbent, especially one that has successfully achieved this level of senate. Now, the other thing to let Senate,
I was asking questions.
Is a third-term agenda with this Senate at that point in time, and stand up to this man. Sitting president is running. He can push for a third. Our forces to be participating in it. For those monies to move and for those monies to transfer, that is the norm. And I start to hear the names of all the other people. Thank you. You hear names of all the other people that will also even thrive in a system like that. These are practices that you have to normally. Too important to be left in the hands of participating in elections accountable. Point to the citizens are coming and they are meeting with their they're calling it. They are calling their.
That team must not
exactly
go.
Calling them. We must be active because the amount of work that needs to be done, the amount of actions, right? We must always do. They think in terms of their economy. They are saving fish that will be yielding fruits by the time the next 4 generations sees that you should be planting in future technologies that will yield for your country later on. So we need a change in mindset. We need a new type of people because when you at their pleasure,
I think for me is very dicey. Point that people were saying even if Buhari had only national candidate is a prof, he will augment lost 2007 and he won the conveniences. Oh, we want to do anybody but Tinubu.
I don't think that this should be about what Nigerians trust. Now, you see, we always create an equation where if Nigerians demanded that they want leaders that are brilliant, that went there in your own company
to preside.
Historically, every 20 years, there's always a path before that wants something different, that the current government or current past, and then that dynamic always just switches things up. And that's what. But then you see that they solved it with violence. They are doing is parasitic to the people of Lagos, thinking and understanding that the politician, you are not powerless. We need to do better. That the Nigerian citizen responds to illusions. The quality of candidates
would improve.
Is improving. You see, before it was not cool to be someone that knows book. I mean, you come on the stage, just clap,
dance and clap.
They're being left behind. Though the world is moving. Look at China. We can barely defend ourselves. We can barely defend our territory. We are still talking about basic things, rule. We are not even talking about visionary things that are prepared for the world of the future that they are going to have to live in. Of the quality of a candidate, where you have candidates that are faking results. You're already allowing a forger, a liar. School is not so much about the brilliance that you have afterwards. It's about dedicating yourself in a disciplined way to something so someone cannot come and tell you school na scam, and then you put that person in office, or person comes in a statistical job. As a president, you must know the statistics.
You must live with the numbers.
An American candidate said that medical treatments in that our former president died in. Imagine if any of those candidates said statistical job, or statistics don't mean anything. This person are clapping for him. And then look at this. Look at the mess that we are in now. Just look at the mess.
Mr. Gbadebo, now, democracy thrives on the opposition. Okay, party ABC is ruling. Party XYZ is telling the people that we can do things different. It's maybe not a perfect democracy, but that seems to be just structures, issues of peak. You see the conservative. It looks like there's a defined line of thought. Thank you. Why a teacher can take breakfast in PDP, enjoy a sumptuous meal of lunch in APC, and dine. And this is the voice of
to reconcile divergent opinions. I'm am very, very proud to say that I did attend. If your neighborhood invites you to discuss the security, you must attend to restore yourself to your former position. I have attended and I have listened to the coalition attempts, yet I still remain political arrangements. I call on all well-meaning politicians and members of Labour Party not to waste.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. And if there were
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation into the situation room as we continue to build the narrative about public service.
Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Tᴜɪᴛᴛᴇʀ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around mainland. 98.3 FM will welcome you.
It's 4:55. So I've had candidates in 2023 governorship election in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But hey, he's live with us in the storm this administration and where Nigerians are 2027 election. Now I'm bringing him back up on here. Hey, we'd open the 3 FM and on YouTube we're streaming live, so you see everything that we're doing in the studio, and you'd also drop it. Well, let me get back to His Excellency Peter Obi in 2023. And he had made leadership issues, court judgment, obedient movement, as an opposition that Nigerians embraced in 2023. We see updates. Would you rate Labour Party's performance as an opposition?
All right. So, Labour Party has been enacted from really stepping up and fulfilling its potential. That I remember during my elections, there were so many polling units that did not have polling unit agents, that the people themselves, without any Nigerian, than what I saw in the 2020 elections. You know, my response from 2023, 2024, to build out a robust structure in court and leadership tussles and all of that. So, to be honest, it has become much more robust as an opposition. It's a contact sport. It's a game of interest that is guiding. I feel that based on that and an understanding, I've always said this is after my election. And I'm very proud of what Dati is doing, which is to try and unite the Labour Party, because either way, a united Labour Party is better for Nigeria than a divided one. A Labour Party that's focused is better than an unfocused Labour Party. And if anybody that's not understanding that reality has not fully looked at the reality on ground, to be fair that he genuinely wanted a free and fair election, it seems, you see what he did with the currency, changing the currency, all those were attempts at reducing the potential for people buying an election. He seemed on the surface to want a free and fair election. With the current president in charge, I think most Nigerians know what we are going to be up against to have a free election. And again, you just have to look at what happened in local government elections in Lagos State. That was not, there is that. Now, my own position, again, like I've said and I've been saying consistently, there must be a coming together to be able to face. And this is with all the parties.
So you support the...
When I say political failure is when at getting themselves together, building consensus, I mean, ruling them. That's a failure. Being charged and maintain the that normally you get money, you should be able to put it in being used properly to fund production, not being used properly to fund employment, not being used to build human capacity development. There's a lot that you pay the price for. So we cannot afford to constantly have this political, and we need to listen, and they will listen because they need the people. They will listen to the voice of the people. So now more than ever, the people need to start making their decisions.
Nobody's listening to us right now.
That's difficult to do.
If the Labour Party don't fix themselves ahead of the 2027 election, Would you leave it?
Now, a point is going to come where we are going to have to formalize that union.
Okay.
Like you see, just this week, I think Rotimi Amici
Resigned from the APC. Aisha Benani has also resigned from the APC
coalition, because that is the only path I see to potentially rescue.
Fear. The number of messages that we have here, I doubt if we will not extend this program at
I'm
6
not rushing,
p.m.
it's up to you. I'm a man of the people. I'm here for the people.
Here we go. I'm sure the management will make a quick decision about that. So let's talk about. You didn't see your numbers coming, obviously.
Okay.
This is what I mean. We had a build up to the election. We had a whole month dedicated to the election conversation on this show, by the way. And then so we felt the pulse of the people, and a lot of people were resigned. So it's Lagos. Nobody feel change Lagos. Lagos has a status quo.
Yes.
Then there was the PDP factor. Your friend that ran on the platform of the PDP as well. So we knew all of those conversations, and a lot of cards were played against you. Some of those cards played out. So I'm sure you know what I'm saying.
100%.
There was also the tribal conversation. Even the tribal got so bad that on the day of election, we went to cover elections in certain areas in Lagos where it was dominated by a certain tribe. And then we saw all of the chaos that was going on. I was on the field all through the election. So we saw all of those things. What have you learned between that last election? Services free of charge and all of that. We'll talk about all of that. But politically, and how do you intend to go into the 2027 conversation if you are still going to be running for governor?
I'm running for governor.
That's a fact.
There's no if there.
That's an exclusive on my.
That's a fantastic question. Where can I start from? What did I learn? You know, I learned that the reason why people bring up tribe and bring up all these disgovernance, if you have done well for the people, you will come and share with them how you have governed. You share with them what you have achieved. You share with them how the affordable housing that you have made available to the people that matter, not just a racket system that you've created. People will be able to feel that their lives have improved. All in 2 3.
And the election was a reality check. The presidential election.
It was a reality check because, you see, the issue is that when you have a group of people that believe that leading is their right, and they are not necessarily making the lives of people better. Except just refuses to be compromised, refuses any gestures that taking money from them or coming to an agreement or doing a deal with them or anything like that. They are not what I'm saying. You see, it says a lot about the kind of human being that sees, okay, these people are not happy with me, so they're going to vote against me. And instead of trying to sell a vision to them or even do better, it's not my group that they are doing this to, so it's okay. Yes, everybody is going to get a taste of that.
The same speaker they appointed themselves.
Their colleague. Because nobody runs to be in the state assembly as a speaker.
No.
10 billion or 7 billion gates that he spent money on, that he's been spending money excessively in a corrupt, reckless manner. They were forced to accept the person that they pushed pressed. But I see that, you don't think that just because fire is not burning in your house,
it can't come to your side.
Come to you. Always push for fairness and justice. If this group has an enemy, if they had reached out in love to solve their problems, people want a good life.
True.
There is nobody that a government is doing well and they are feeling the quality of governance, they'll be voting against that government.
Why would it change what is not damning? True.
But then you have a situation where they are labeling people certain things because they don't want to vote for them. They are stigmatizing people, they are beating people, they are hurting people. And you somehow think that that's not going to come to you or your children or your friends or your neighbor at some point where you stand against them, because this is now power just exerting itself for itself and its own interest. And anybody that steps against it, right, is going to fit on getting better organized, building better structure. Told about me could stick, because there are a number of communities that are not met being one-on-one, right? So that is something that we focused on solving, especially as a bona fide Lagosian. The level of tribalistic thought that's in the average Nigerian you. And I don't want you to talk about my stealing. I don't want to talk about my governance. I don't want to talk
looking away.
So you are looking away. It's you that are suffering. You should, if in the public, they should ask whether the help, the drivers that they had in public school then. See, my grandfather was a judge. He had a chauffeur. The chauffeur's son went to the same school that my father went to.
Wow.
That was what Nigeria. Today, a woman that's barely seeing 80,000 naira a month is struggling to see how she can get her child into private school. And of course, the large, there's a word for it, it'll come to me, economies of scale. So they're able to things in place reduces the pressure on the average citizen. Because now your child can, but the average Nigerian, the average citizen can get a sound education from a public school. That's what it's supposed to be. So you that you are driving, you can drive in peace and not be worrying, how am I going to system to us? The current governor, the current president in Lagos Island, when they were, how many water corporations? The last time, some years ago, I went to visit. I was actually I just moved back. I was living in my father's house with the water corporation. Our borehole, the whole thing out, pull it out, pumping machine. Exactly. Why don't we share war with this? Let's go and ask them.
How far
can you guys supply water? They did. If you do water corporation and water works around, you go and check if it has been borrowed, how much money has been given, how much money has been raised to supply pipe-borne water to Lagosians. You weep because it's in hundreds of millions of dollars. Yet this money just disappears. Lagosians should also bear in mind. See, even if you like this current government, if you like your suffering, if you like the suffering, because first of all, nobody is going to hold them accountable. All the saying they are saying, nobody's going to hold them accountable for it. There is no ward chairman and everything in the way that they've never felt they had to, because they've always stayed at the top. It is in your like they're similar. They need to change often. Change them so that somebody else come, push a better way. If you are not happy with that person, remove that person so that the other person that's coming in can see that they can be removed. When the interest of the people, it's not in your interest. Are these leaders working for you, or are they working for themselves? Right? So these are some of the factors that we are looking at. We are understanding the strategy of distract all over Lagos Island. They say he's Jimmy Chukwu. He's governor of the Idagbajis have done in Lagos, in Nigeria. But just because you dare to challenge Tinubu, your Yorubaness is taken away from you. Somebody that has not been in office, you are so desperate, you cannot even campaign. My father is not my father. I'm adopted. You should have so much to campaign on that will just shut me up. At the end of the day, have I been governor before? No. I've not been in government. You should be able to show us we've done what Alhaji Lateef Jakande running for a second term. After that 4.5 years that he did. Imagine him. So much to talk about. You'll be quiet. You'll be quiet. A token project. Okay, look at us. So we are working. Oh, look at us. They'll dance. They'll commission it. But the people are not feeling it. Because he was focused solely on the interests of Lagosians. His son did not need to own something in it. His son did not need to be a shareholder in the company that got the contract price for the most amount of
And then we got the best results.
And you got the best results. 4.5 for his life after he left office. He was driving the car, his personal car as governor now. That was the time Nigeria had money. That was the time we were rolling in oil money. And look at his humility. And you see it in the result. You see it in the results. Actions. We should always ask ourselves, why are people pushing this message? This is election season. You should be telling us what you are going to do for us. Why are you constantly attacking somebody in Nigeria, at least in Lagos? Right? Longer. A lot of people will tell. I love the fact that language carries our history, carries our tradition, and allows you to connect to the heart of people. But let us stop conflating language and governance, because if that is the case, the people that are looting us dry, what language are they speaking? Are we now going to assign language to this? Shouting big power, the person that is president, what language is he speaking? Let us separate governance from politics, from culture, right? Because your child going to school in the morning and the quality of love that government has for you and that child is determined by the desire to serve. It's determined by the humility and the reason why that person is in office. If somebody comes into office with this godfather and godfather says, these billions must come into this account, and he must do it and make decisions that will be beneficial for you and your family after the election.
Raw meat.
Raw meat. You show your vote. They were praying and you're getting a bag of rice and they are videoing you. See, there was a time where your pride elevated the people in terms of their wealth. Look, the leader great. It's not because I'm a big man, I have this car, I have these dogs impacted. It is a disgrace that people are so, we have glamorized poverty. Even the one in Aso Rock. So guess what? I'm going to France to can stay in his country and get cheated himself. I don't imagine Donald Trump living in America to go. Lagosians and Nigerians are living in, but also in the reality of the mindset that we have to cope with this failure of
Mr. Gbadebo's rival, the wisdom of the management. We flushed till 6, but that time is for feedback. 0913-600-0410. See, I'm going to be very sincere. We can't take all of the messages there. Opik said it. He's running again in 2027. And he said he has also embraced the coalition 110%. That the only way the status quo can change is to have the coming together of political parties to challenge the party in power. So let's open the phone lines. 0913-600-0410.
I'm happy to hear the voice of the rival road. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Good evening,
and,
sir.
Good evening, sir. And you know what this man is saying? He has a Igbo man, first of all, I'm a Yoruba man. And you carry all your children to go abroad to go and be sending you dollars or pound sterling. Why didn't you say and be proud of that your country, where politicians have raped Nigerians dry?
Exactly.
And this is the problem that we have today. This tribalism has to stop. This man, we knew he had door, and then, we are waiting and we are watching.
Thank you very much, Pastor Ambus. God bless you. 0913-600-0410. Let's also read some of the messages that we have. Opposition in the country does not exist, and they cannot be able to settle. I don't trust this coalition. That is from Emmanuel. Thank you very much. Convince Nigeria that we are getting there. If Peter Obi stays in Labour Party or he goes to the coalition, I will still vote for him. That's Stephen from Ikorodu. Thank you. John from Ijanikin says, of those out Tinubu to continue, we can't make the same mistakes we made before by giving Buhari another second term. The coalition should allow Obi and a younger northern vice president to rule. Okay, thank you for your message. Thank you. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Aokwe.
You're welcome.
How are you today? This is Grandma Maggie. I greet my governor.
Good evening, ma.
How are you today?
I'm fine,
ma. My question is, having seen all this that happened, it is not turned over. Then what do you do? How do you work towards seeing our electoral reforms?
Yes.
Okay.
How are we going to do? Like NBA was fervently answer. Who is a journalist that helped me on when this man, our man, did not make it. I will reform work.
Thank you.
And will be bold and proud with you for you guys.
Thank you.
God bless you, man.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Hello. You're welcome. Good evening.
All
Pen and paper.
Okay.
look.
then be ready to explain to people, this is Western state, Western region, Western Gulf. He said, no, where we are going is not the way. You have to be well identified and explain your unique. Every politics is local. And let it
Thank you.
God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much, and God bless you too. Hello, that the North Quarter. Thank you very much. With all the accolades and praise singers that continue to give President Tinubu on the basis of putting the country economy on the right path, I'm here to on Broad Street when I saw an uncountable number of area boys walking up to meet people in order to beg for money. This was the same road I used to walk comfortably a few years back, because most of these so-called area to park, then they will issue ticket for parking. They are now out of job because most people no longer take their cars out. Excuse me. Is this what we should continue in 2027?
This is Madam Ishi.
Good evening.
You see, the electoral reform I want, then blah, blah, blah. Oh, it should be one day. It should be four forms. We'll go and take a seat back. Because by the time you bring president for any party that wins first, everybody will go, oh, press your hand there. It should be one 4 forms. They will give you 4 forms to press. That's the reform I want. Well done.
Thank you very much, Madam Ifi. 0913600410. Let me quickly stop on Facebook. John Bernardo, he says, our dispensation is quite different from year 2027. All we all need is the coalition. Okay, Shedrack bought a good economy, and we are not seeing it. At least we have decisions, and it's shown that it's not being controlled by the cabals. Okay, this goes beyond the big English. Is he ready to go to the grassroots? But please make sure that the people understand what you want to say and learn to speak Yoruba. Thank you. Atonda Kayode Samuel says, just imagine the old time, and chat is always about one person. Okay, please. Very good. And you?
Good evening to your guest.
Good evening.
Mr. Jofo calling from Mr. Kingdom.
You're welcome, Mr. Jofo.
Yeah, the problem we have is that reform first. If you have electoral reform, a common gateman that works in a company will win 2027. They know that they won't win. What they're planning now is start to look at election, and they will let there be a level playing ground for everybody. Nobody, APC will know with one state in Nigeria.
Why can't the system allow brilliant men like Vivor, if I'm correct, in Nigeria? Thank you. Badmus Olushola Michael says, I've just been signed at every... Okay, we got a bit late. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah. I actually was your spokesman that if I let them know that this is what you are trying to support, for them to understand who you are. But fortunately, who are supposed to align behind me and let all focus, but unfortunately, but I know you are the second time, my brother. You know what you will do for me? They want to see you tell the story with them the way they will listen. You see, you mean you are speaking English. This is a fact, my brother. For like 6 months, spend all my resources.
Thank you. This one says, good evening, and to Your Excellency GRV, for GRV. But do you know that up till now, I can't wear them again because we live in a society where opposition over Mr. GRV. I will still work for you and will be in 2020 in your election. That's James Ogbona from...
There's one thing I want to retract. Nigeria be captured. So I'm not sure that you go for to stay. You go to get a ticket. And they can do more. Sure, tell me now. So why can't you just believe in PDP? I mean, believe in...
Very much. Okay, I will have a lot of...
Good evening.
You're welcome. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Peter Usifo. I'm calling from Abuja.
Okay, you're welcome, Mr. Peter.
Yeah. I listen to your gospel. First, what will be your selling point in the next elections? You know, like in the 2023 elections, you were, contesting against entrance, if possible. Now, what will be your major selling point, assuming you are not with Peter Obi? Maybe it was on Peter Obi's back that you wrote last. What is now in Labour Party is what Peter Obi should be doing and what would have been done at the initial, especially after the 2023 election.
Thank you. Well, we have loads of messages there, but I need to allow my guests to respond. Otherwise, we'll not leave here today. And respond to them one after the other.
All right. So let me start from the beginning. There was a call for electoral reform. Now, I don't really believe that, we have, by himself. Oh. We did not ask him, by himself. He told us there'll be electronic transmission of results. He said how it will work by himself. Then they stopped that, and then they now tell us that it's not in the law. Right? So if the president is still going to have to sign off on this, I honestly do not hold out much faith that it will be done. But we are from, and they also mentioned what the NBA is doing, which is they've drafted some documentation that they want to push into law for electoral reform. So we'll push for that. We can hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. For me, the main agenda during campaign is to awaken Nigerians to the fact that this thing is your opportunity to take your destiny in your hands. You don't vote and go home. The reason why people can cheat, vote and we go home, or we are not organized enough so people can come and hit and bully 1 or 2 or 3 people and everybody run away. We must understand that it is us versus them, because any political party that cannot campaign based on what they have done, the impact they've made on people's lives and the difference that they do not deserve to be in leadership. They've had time to be able to prove themselves, to earn the... So we as the people must realize that we must make a stand, right? There must be consequences. If you want to rig, there are consequences, right? And that's what final point. When the man wants to change results, he will look outside the window, he'll see thousands of people waiting. Change it and see. So he knows that there are consequences to his life. And we must stand by that. So that is going to be our communication with our people. It's not going to be, it's not fun, because face that thing with all our heart, with all our mind, for as long as it's going to take. And what you can be rest assured is the candidates that are going to come to stand with you, they're not going to sell you out. They're going to be leading from the front. They're going to be organized. You must be accountable to them, because there's no candidate that can outspend the sitting president. You can only enter because the people, you are responsive to the Godfather. That is politics. Simply is a game of interest. If my power is from the people, I must do well for the people. We had a governor, a sitting president up and down. Why? Because that's his source. That's his Godfather. That's the person he believes will put him in office. It was when that Godfather lost in Lagos that he started becoming a barber, an electrician, an usher, all in 1 week. He called
but that's service to the people.
He called the debate organizers and said, okay, can we do a debate now? Okay, and this is southern time now, and it's fair to say that. It's fair to say that, because, that move between the north and south brings a lot of stability. Polar, multicultural country like Nigeria, voices. So the party is listening, and they start to take these things as a serious thing, right? So make your desires heard. And there are ways to do this, and the pulse and the feelings of people. And people should not shy away. This is a very important time to make your desires and your voices heard. There was a gentleman that talked about this bad governance has destroyed the lives of so many young men in Lagos State, where well-able young men are either on drugs. Of this world, we celebrate these people that rub shoulders with the governors and the powers that be. All respect to him. The man has sent his child to MIT. Those young men that are running on the road, I don't know what school they are sending their children to. The billions that the NURTW gets, there is no health insurance there. There is no education fund there for any of their members, right? It's affecting it, and it is destroying the social fabric. The social fabric starts from the family.
Sure.
Father, mother, children, in a stable household, as much as possible. When the streets are raising our children, the future is not bright. So this is something that that's why I say we must think in 3-4 generations. It's not just about today. We must plan in relation to 3-4 generations. That's something that Chief Obafemi Awolowo. Okay. Campaign at grassroots. People say I don't speak Yoruba. See, my father's name is Olawale. We are looking for their birth certificate. These are not people that we don't know where they went to school or where they lived. City Hall, where it stands, is for family land. We donated it to Lagos State. See, you throw something at me, I take it, I learn. You come out and you lie about and propagandize, and then I'll just go and sit down and say, no. I will get better. I get better. It allows you to connect to a person's mind. It allows you to connect to a person's heart. Right? And it's wonderful for campaign. See, any other language that you have is a life skill. If I spoke Yoruba in secondary school, it was called vernacular.
You pay.
You pay. I'll be in a banking sector. The quality of your English reflects your intelligence. But we are in politics today. So we must be all things to all men. We get better. Me, I was raised as a child that came for lack of a better, from privilege. It's true. My grandfather I was reading all about that, and then I was thinking about this thing. You see, you can only give love where they have put love inside you. You cannot give what you don't have.
You can't.
And realistic, because now we are being generalistic. When you love a people, the way you move it, people came in politics because of power. Some people want power to oppress people because they only feel big when they are stepping down on people. If you are coming from a place of love, like, let me be honest with you, child, to read about me and the fact that I raised so many people out of poverty. We read about Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the way when people found out that Yemi Osinbajo was married to somebody that was related. Do you see the goodwill to have such beautiful impact that my great-grandchildren will be benefiting it just from, like, we have that same name. Like, this man loved his people so much. This man lifted his lives of his people so much. So me, I'm moved by love. This is why I don't need to move to APC. I don't believe in if I'm not with Peter Obi and this that.
Yeah, you rode on Peter Obi in 2023.
Peter Obi is a move based on love as well. It's about contact. It's about but also I've run for Senate. I ran for Senate in the largest central district in Nigeria. I had over 200-something thousand votes. So I did not just come out from nowhere. A lot of people don't know that history. Before Senate, I ran for local government chairman under Core Party. I was campaigning and building, So, and we have not stopped. Why did we not stop? Because we have integrity. We did not go after election and go and meet APC, okay, give me this contract or give me this and I'll withdraw my case.
Let me do labor in the afternoon. Let me do APC in the night.
That's why we can still talk. Because they did not put money in our mouths to stop us from talking. Exactly. We can talk because we stood on our business. We stood on integrity, right? And we've built a larger support base. And I'm sorry to the person that, was in Ifakojai and was frustrated to have the option of showing love, but instead would rather intimidate, beat, and hurt the people that they are supposed to be governing. And people should be worried. Just because they are not beating you today
does not mean they will not beat you tomorrow.
This is not what governance or democracy is supposed to be. You either choose power, you either get it through the barrel of a gun or through the ballot box. This one that APC is doing is a mix and match. They are doing collabo.
Not collabo.
You understand? It's collabo they are doing. It's a performative democracy. Why should someone not be able to wear t-shirts? If Goodluck Jonathan and all the other PDP people were doing the same thing to APC, would they be where they are today? The things you have done, the impact you have made on Lagosians, and Lagosians should think about that. If somebody wants to govern you and all they are telling you is to hate somebody else, then they don't have anything for you. The suffering that you were in before the election, you'll find yourself in that same suffering. And lastly, security. I think I can leave it on that one. Security, okay. I've dedicated the last year of my life on learning from the mistakes that we made in 2020. Sure that I'm going to dedicate everything in me to make sure that what happened in 2020 will not happen again. Amen. And then the same government is planning how they are beating their citizens. I'm not in government now, I'm a private citizen. But to go to election, I must also be thinking about how I protect.
We've done 120 minutes, by the way.
I'm not complaining. I've told you.
So much, Mr. Gᴑᴜ for being my guest on the show today. It was supposed to be 90 minutes, but of course, I know that together at an event on Friday, and the conversation was not even political at all. Well, maybe at some point too, it's still about welfare, providing affordable housing to low-income earners in Lagos. It's a conversation I will speak to maybe Monday or Friday. The guest is the son of the soil, a proper Lagos boy. Thank you. It's been an engaging conversation, and let's do this again tomorrow at same time, 3 p.m. Hardcore political conversation. We'll visit Edo quickly tomorrow. Whatever it is that Governor Monday Okwe those down tomorrow afternoon. But hey, by 6 o'clock, I will still come back today for Sports Cruise live from Milan 98.3. And the Super Falcons are playing the semi-final of the ongoing Women African Cup of Nations against the Bayana of South Africa. We give you all of those details in a few minutes. My name is Okoyemi Akede. Thank you once again. I'm Mr. Gᴑɪbᴜ Rosvival for spending time with us. Keep safe, stay safe rather, and keep your